Hello and welcome to Simon Heals. My name is Simon. Today I am really delighted to be joined by Gabriel and Kylie, who you may recognize from their fantastic channel, which is Endless Bliss with Gabriel and Kylie. Yeah, I came across these two beautiful beings earlier this year when they were kind of really just getting their channel going, I think, and was immediately kind of taken by the energies and the messages that were coming through through their videos, and yeah, have been just wanting to catch up and talk with you guys for a while, and it's taken us a few tries, hasn't it, to actually kind of get this conversation together. But you're in Toronto over there in Canada. I'm here in Thailand, so I think yeah, it still amazes me the wonders of modern technology that we're able just to kind of do this. I was just sharing with you before we recorded about I'm kind of a little bit old school. So when I didn't grow up with mobile phones, and the first phone that I had, I was like 30 years old, and it was like one of those big old-fashioned ones with an you had to pull the antenna out, and so I still. I'm still kind of amazed that we can just kind of look at each other on a screen and talk in real time. It's just absolutely awesome. So yeah, Gabriel and Kylie, welcome. It's so lovely to meet you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Simon. And it's so lovely to be, with you, on your channel. As you said, that it has taken us, a couple of tries, but I'm just glad that we get to finally connect together. And yeah.
For sure. Thank you so much for finding the time to do that. So I've got a few things that I wanted to kind of bring into the conversation, but yeah, other than that, let's just kind of see where the conversation does go. I think where I'd like to start is really around relationship. And obviously, I know that this is a subject that is absolutely kind of key to you guys and what you're doing, and that you two really bring to this kind of world of YouTube anyway, and what appears anyway. Such a beautiful manifestation of a divine union between man and woman, and this is something that for me has been very important in my life, possibly the most important thing in my life. And not that relationship has always been particularly easy. I'm very thankful to be able to say now that I'm in a very beautiful relationship, have a beautiful wife, who I found out last year is my twin flame. And it was, I'd heard about twin flames for a while, but I didn't, it wasn't really something I knew so much about, but it was definitely something that started to come much more into kind of like awareness last year. So it'd be very interesting to hear from you two, how you consider your relationship, and, what twin flame relationship means to you as opposed to, say, soulmate relationship, and what the difference in those might be, and where your relationship is within that kind of framework. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sure. I'll start. So as you might have, seen a few of our videos that I was, before Kylie, I was also in a relationship, but it wasn't really a pleasant relationship that served me. And I guess it was also my awareness at the time. I never knew, who I was. Or I also didn't have a relationship or in a relationship, with myself. So I always needed, validation and approval from, my partner at the time. And, I did a lot of things to try and change our relationship, but it was always outside. It was never going, inside. And so as a result, it obviously, ended because there was way too much, anxiety, depression, and sadness. So I just decided, it's going to be good for us, to separate because it's just not working. And for about, say, a year and a half, I was just working on myself, doing the necessary inner work. And finally, sit down with myself, press pause, and really go within, and just to, go that started a journey to really love, myself, to make myself my best friend, and just to like to hang out with myself, which was pretty awesome. And after that experience, when I was finally ready, because I told myself I'm not going to try and seek another relationship or partner if I'm not already in love with myself. And when I was finally ready, and that's when I just took out a blank page, a pen, and I wrote down exactly what I wanted, in a wife. And I, described, Kylie, as best as I could. And, afterwards, when she was on paper, I just closed my eyes and imagine that she was already within my reality. And from that point, I saw her, in my reality on a daily basis by living in gratitude that she's already with me. And that for me, because some people will ask like, wow, wasn't it a little bit, challenging to actually, have that faith or that trust? For me, it was because I had experience of, past manifestations. So for me, I knew it's just a matter of time until it actually shows up in my reality. So, and I just persisted, in gratitude, knowing that she's already, with me. And then 3.5 months later, boom, she'd appeared in my reality. And I knew that she was the woman that I, like kind of scripted or sculpted, on that piece of paper, if you will. And yeah, when we met, I mean, like, what was it like? I told her like first week that I loved her, the second week that she's my wife already, but I didn't put any pressure on her. I was like, you don't have to say anything. I just know that you're the one, And then I think about 6 months later, we got married. Mm-hmm. And so to answer, your question, I'm not so familiar with the whole concept of twin flame and the definition, but I understand, soulmate. I can definitely say that she's, my soulmate, I mean, everything we do, we complement each other. It's literally like a ski glove. We just, gel like that. And it's just, awesome. And, we get to enjoy this bliss, every day. And the good thing about it is it gets better every single day. Of course, we do go through our challenges, problems, and obstacles, but even in that, we still find our bliss because we know it's not us. It's never between us. It's always between us and the problem. And so because we are one, we see ourselves as one, and one cannot be in conflict with itself. So, and that's the reason why we actually started the channel, because we realized that, wow, what we have is, it's almost so good to be true. It's so surreal, and we had to share, because if it can happen with us, it can definitely happen with everybody else as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. But I think what really comes through from your message that I pick up on is the importance of doing that work on yourself. If we're going into relationship to find healing within that relationship or to find healing from the other person, then that's not going to work. At best, it's going to be a codependent relationship, and it may work for a short while whilst we are filling in the gaps for each other, you know. But at some point that is going to become dysfunctional, because our needs are always changing and we're always growing and we're always evolving, you know. And yeah, I can really relate to that. When I go back to some of my earlier relationships, I was always looking to find completion within the relationship. But it's only as I've got older and I've done that work on myself that I go into relationship from a place of completion and love for self, that I've been able to find, ironic is ironic the right word? But yeah, kind of ironically, only been able to find what I was looking for when I was actually no longer looking, if that makes sense, you know. So yeah, and I mean, definitely your love for each other really comes through really beautifully in the videos. And for me, as important as the messages are, is the energy that comes through, and that's, you know, that's just really, really beautiful. You were also sharing with us then about how you, and I love the word that you use, almost kind of sculpted through your imagination and your words, the partner that you were looking to kind of manifest. And I know this subject of manifestation is a theme that really runs through your messages. And I noticed that on many of your videos, maybe all of your videos, that you put in brackets there, law of assumption. So could you share with us a little bit more about what you mean by law of assumption and what you understand that to be?
Yeah, sure. So with the law of assumption is just a law or a concept that was designed by Neville Goddard. And for those of you guys that are not familiar with Neville Goddard, he was a lecturer, a mystic, and originally from Barbados, but then moved to America, and he just taught new thought. And so this law that he called the law of assumption, it's actually very simple. It's just all the assumptions that we have about our our health, our happiness, our wealth, usually manifest within our life. And how he taught it was that if you want to manifest anything in your life right now, all you need to you ask yourself, okay, if I have this right now, how will it make me feel? So for example, if you desire a happy, blissful relationship, or a happy wife or happy, husband, you just have to, ask yourself, okay, if I am married right now, how will that make me feel? So once you have the feeling, then you just have to persist, in that feeling and believe that you are that right now. And then what will end up happening is the universe, the circumstances, environment, and people will then, bring that assumption or that desire together. And that's what we call, a manifestation. And I like Neville Goddard because it was very clear, and simple, and it's different from the law of attraction, because law of attraction kind of teaches us that, your desires is actually exists outside of you, and the universe brings it to you. But Neville Goddard teaches that everything you want is already within you. All you need to do is just accept it and feel the feelings of having it already, and then that just that acceptance will then push it out into your reality. So and that's why, because we've tested it so many times, hundreds, thousands of times, and that's why we can share it with so much confidence, and it's really that simple. And yeah, would you like to share?
Yeah, hadn't come across any of this manifestation stuff, law of assumption, before we met. So it was really, as we met and got to know each other, that's when he said, okay, let me introduce you to this thing that I know, this thing that I do, this thing that I consciously manifest. And for me, it was when he told me that, oh, I actually manifested you. And I thought, what? What do you mean? So we just met. Like it didn't make sense to me. But as he explained it, I could even see how things in my life changed according to the timeline when he, accepted that he, this is the person he wants. This is his wife. This is how his relationship will be. And then the things that happened in my life that almost, like led me to meet him. And then for us to be able to work on our relationship using the assumptions. Like for example, when we first started our relationship, there was different assumptions that I had about relationships. Relationships are very hard. I assumed that, this is the pace of a normal relationship. This is my assumption. And our relationship was flying to me. I mean, he told me he loved me very quick. You're my wife. And I said, I don't even know you. But but I had to change that assumption. If we were ever going to work, I had to assume, okay, relationships can go at any pace. They can go quick or they can go slow. Love can happen that quickly. The true love does exist even. I assumed that maybe love doesn't exist, or, it's something you really have to work hard to get. But even as you mentioned, if you love yourself, then that love that you're seeking, it's already within you, right? Yeah, it's been such a beautiful journey using the law of assumption and teaching the law of assumption specifically, as you said, to cultivate beautiful relationships and to find or manifest the partner of your dreams.
I think your story really illustrates that beautiful potential dance between the polarities of the masculine and the feminine, and the yin and the yang, because Gabriel, your kind of role in that story was very what's the right word, dynamic, assertive, really had that kind of yang energy of the making something happen, but also what needs to be with matching to that is the receptivity of the yin energy. And it's a beautiful example of that, how you, Kylie, were able to receive Gabriel's very kind of direct, dynamic, assertive, masculine energy, and then together that has brought about such a beautiful union. And again, this is something that we need to also find within ourselves, isn't it? So that we each also are able to balance those polarities within ourselves. So that we're neither too assertive and aggressive or too passive and receptive. We need to be, I would say anyway. So being in a healthy relationship, again, can only happen when we've balanced those polarities within ourselves, or else and you see this so often in relationship, don't you, that one person is the is the more dynamic and even can be quite aggressive, and then another person can be quite kind of passive and even be a bit of a victim within the relationship, you know. So, but you two always strike me as having quite a balance there. Yeah. Yeah, please.
Yeah, just to that point, yeah, there has been moments where that balance does get thrown off. I think as we go about, you know, as you said, you need to be able to balance those energies within yourself, or else again, you're dependent on them to kind of complete that match. And so there have been times where you say, okay, then I need to become that a bit more assertive in myself, tap into that masculine energy, and same to tap into that more like even creative side of things, that more that feminine energy. And then we're both balanced within ourselves and with each other. And that's how it's going to work out.
Yeah, well, I guess a healthy relationship also gives us a mirror, doesn't it, to see ourselves within. Yeah, so we see, yeah, and so to see where we need to kind of maybe adapt or grow and change and develop. Yeah, for sure. And that really brings me on to something that I wanted to just make sure that we give ourselves enough time for in our conversation today, is because I'm really curious about this, is the coaching work that you guys offer. So I'd really, I can kind of get a sense of how that might work, but I'd really love to hear from you, you know, what it is that you're offering, and, you know, how that might work for someone, what kind of person might benefit from, or people maybe. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, Kali can go first and then I'll go second.
Yeah, so it's really, as I said, our own journey with ourselves. That's really what motivated us to say, wow, this seems very different than other people. And even having other people ask us, so how do you do it? Why, you know, how does this work? And that's, I guess, what led to doing our videos, just to kind of help people. And yet we realized that it can be a very personal thing, because a lot of it's based on our past experiences, you know, our belief systems. It can get very touchy. And so that kind of led us to say, okay, what if we started working with people one-on-one, or even just in small groups, and just to help people. Well, essentially, a lot of people want to find love or manifest love, whether that's with the partner they're with already, or if they're single and they want to manifest a partner, like how Gabriel did. And yeah, so we realized that not that we have the secrets or the tools, because I don't think that exists, but at least to be able to help people get on that right path to loving themselves first, and then to find the true love. Like you said, our partners are usually just a mirror of ourselves. And so if we can help people get to a place where they fully love and accept themselves, then it's going to be very easy to find a loving partner who fully loves and accepts themselves, and vice versa.
Yeah, for sure. Because as I mentioned before, like in my past, you know, relationship, that it was just, you know, unpleasant. You know, I experienced anxiety, depression, and it just was not, you know, a pleasant experience for me, and obviously for my partner at the time as well. I even had to go to psychologists, and nothing actually worked. I mean, it worked to a certain extent, but it never got to the root of it. It only actually worked when I literally had to, you know, press pause and go within, and you know, introduce myself to myself, you know, become my friend, love myself, start hugging myself, kissing myself, and just appreciating myself, you know. And so these are the tools that we share, you know, with our clients as well, because just to, you know, show them how to love themselves first, and then have a loving, blissful relationship. Because if you love yourself first, that's just whoever you meet, they're going to see and feel that love within you. So, and the relationship will never be, you know, needy or codependent, as you mentioned, but it's going to be like literally you just adding to each other's love, adding to each other's happiness, adding to each other's bliss, because you already have it within, and so that's what we do. We take our clients, by the end, we show them step by step how to do it, and because thank God we've been there, we actually walk the walk, and now we can talk the talk, you know what I mean? And it's an awesome, experience just to be able to share that, with other people as well.
Yeah, on most of our calls that we have with the people who are inquiring, this the main thing we see is this level of they don't accept themselves, they don't fully love themselves, they don't think that they're worthy. That's usually the main root of why they're having issues in the relationship. Again, everyone else is just you pushed out. And so you're either attracting people who are also, going to treat you how you see yourself, or your current partner is going to treat you how you see yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy, everyone else will also. But if you claim, I am infinite, I'm limitless, I'm perfection, I am worthy of love and every good thing, then that's how everyone else will see you also. And that's how you thrive in any relationship that you have.
Yeah, totally. I absolutely agree with you. I've been working for the last about 12 years, I think it is now, professionally doing healing work. And really, for me, the journey of healing is the journey to self-love. Really, it really, in a kind of nutshell, is that. But I know that many people find that incredibly difficult to do that. So it's and I get what you're saying and totally agree with you. And it's quite easy maybe for us to sit here and say this, but what do you guys, what can you guys do to help people that show up to meet you and they really don't love themselves, and they're so far away from that? So what are the kind of tools that you would share with someone to get them on that path to loving themselves?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, because what we do is we have them, use their imagination. So because each and every, experience that you have in the past is literally, it's just, an assumption, like which, in other words, just a belief system, right? But when you actually change that belief system, it changes your entire reality. So we, take them on a guided, meditation, if you will, in their imagination, and just have them see themselves in their ideal. For example, the first steps would be then, just to take that moment to actually, like, love you. So you literally go in your imagination and, you give that love to yourself first. You feel, that love to yourself first. Maybe go to a memory when you were, a little kid, and you felt so much love, whether it's from, a friend, a family member, and stuff like that. And then just feel that, and then go, within, and really sit, with that. And once you know how that feeling is, because some of us, as you rightfully said, it's difficult because we forgot, about it. We forgot that it was always, within. And now, because of all the programming, we try to seek it without, but so the most powerful instrument, if you will, is definitely our imagination. We just imagine that you are loved right now, and that you are in love with yourself right now, and that you always, as a matter of fact, had that love since you were a child. And once you can, especially if it can feel real to you, if you can be in imagination, and if it can feel real to you, that we may think that that's just the imagination, but that's actually like real, because consciousness is the only reality. So when you go in imagination, that's the real world, so that's, I would say, is definitely the most powerful, teaching that we share, with people to go with him.
So a session with you might involve some kind of meditation, visualization, and kind of guided visualization. And I think in my language, what you're talking about there is the reprogramming of the subconscious mind. Yeah, and particularly the subconscious beliefs that we hold. You know, it's said that as much as 95% of our mind is subconscious. So it's like we're trying to run our lives with 5% of our mind, thinking that we're kind of, you know, I want to be in a great relationship. I want to live a life of abundance with plenty of time for myself, doing what I love doing, with amazing health, etc., etc. And then the other 95% is going, hey, whoa, wait a second, you're not good enough. You don't deserve this. And what will other people think of you, and blah, 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 etc., you know. So it's really about getting into that 95%, isn't it? And starting to release those programs of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, and replacing those with, you know, beliefs of worth and self-worth and self-value. Yeah, so that sounds awesome. And so the sessions, are these something that you do together then? So if someone comes onto a session with you, whether it's in person or, you know, on the Zoom or something, that it would be both of you, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, we found it very beneficial. Yeah, we found it very beneficial because, well, depending on the client essentially, but having, again, both the male and female perspective, that usually gives very good insight, as well as we have very different experiences ourselves in our journeys with manifestation, with tapping into the subconscious mind. The way that we both operate is quite different from each other. And so we know that, okay, so no matter who comes on, no matter who we're working with, at least one of us can relate with them fully, and the other can, well, imagine what it's like to be in their shoes and to kind of say, okay, so you're probably feeling like this because I was feeling like that. Yeah, we just found it very beneficial to have both of us on there, both perspectives, both life experiences, both energies there. And I think it also just helps people feel more comfortable having both of us there with them.
Yeah, and also what we...
Sorry, Gabriel.
What I was also... Yeah, sure. What I was also going to say is we also, you know, guide them, you know, throughout the inner journey as well, because it's like, I know for me at least, you know, when I used to buy all these, you know, type of programs, I bought it, I paid for it, but I would never do the work myself. So what we actually do it with our clients to, you know, take them by the hand and, you know, literally just guide them and to make sure that, you know, they have that, you know, experience, because we know exactly when there's a shift. You know, we know there's actually where we should, because we've been doing it for, you know, so many times. So I think we find that it's so much more, you know, powerful to actually kind of do it with them. And once you've done it for a certain amount of times, then they become used to it, and it's like now a new habit, right? And so now the subconscious is now accepting to say that, okay, you won. So okay, let's do this new change now. You guide me and it's fine. You win. Okay, let's, you know, install this new belief system, you know, or this new assumption, you know, and stuff. Yeah.
It's amazing work that you're doing. And, you know, we need this now more than ever. We need healing in the world. You know, the world that we've created is in such disarray. And I guess that's because of the lack of love that we feel for ourselves and that we feel for each other. And sometimes it can seem overwhelming in terms of what can I do about that? You know, there's just little old me, and there's a whole broken world out there. But I guess, you know, if each of us is able to to guide others through that healing journey, as you two are. Then we send ripples, don't we? Ripples of healing out into the collective, into the world. And yeah, I mean, I know for me that's my purpose and what I'm here for, and I really get a sense with you two that is a purpose that is unfolding for you and very much needed. So I'm just keeping one eye on the clock here. It's we're nearly out of time on this. So I will, if shall I just leave a link to your channel? If there's any other informational links that you'd like me to include below this video, then please send it over to me and I'll include that so that people can find you, connect with you. And is there anything else you'd like to say just before we kind of finish off for today?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you know, thanks again for, you know, having us on. It was absolutely, you know, awesome, you know, and amazing, or like we always say, blissful. And it's like what I would like to just, you know, leave everybody with, you know, like everything, like our mindset is, you know, in itself, you know, an assumption, because the reason why we can say that we always have, you know, endless bliss is because we've assumed that belief that we'll always enjoy endless bliss every time, all the time. It's literally just a belief system, you know, and so it's so awesome because that's why we always say if we can assume, you know, bliss or happiness of love, everybody can. It's literally just a decision. You can do it right now and say, okay, I'm choosing, you know, to assume that I'm always enjoying love and bliss in my life, and it's only going to get better. You know, you say that every day to yourself, and your subconscious mind will, you know, accept you to say that you're right. Okay, endless bliss it is. You know? Yeah.
Perfect. And yeah, great advice. Thank you so much. And yeah, it was a pleasure to finally meet up with you, catch up with you. And
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, stay well. Thank you both. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.